So what's up YouTube, welcome back to the Chronicles of Mr. Fish with me, Mr. Fish. Now today the view from my camera is slightly different from normal because it has an R9T Scrambler in front of it. That's right, the guys of Vines in Guildford BMW Motorrad have been kind enough to let me have the Scrambler for an hour, so I'm going to take it out for a ride, see how I get on, see if I like it. This one's got knobbly tyres, so it's a bit disconcerting. I was hoping to get some road tyres so I can really give it some. Well, not give it some, because it's only done 400 odd miles. And it's raining, and I've got knobbly tyres. Oh dear. Right, here we have the new BMW 9T Scrambler. This is the Scrambler X, and this has been lent to me kindly by Vines Motorrad of Guildford. So I'm going to take you a little bit round the bike, starting from the front to the back. I've been riding it for about 15 minutes, so it's a very, very quick first impressions. Front wheel is a 19, rear wheel is a 17, so that's a 170 60 17, that's a 120 70 19. Got the knobbly tyres on, and in this weather they are appalling, I have to say. I do like a bike that goes around corners, and they do not instill me with confidence. It's got a 1200cc boxer engine in, but this one is air cooled. It's not the liquid cooled that they use in the newer ones. It's a bit more agricultural. It's got quite a bit of pull. It is very good. I do like the characteristics of the engine, the way it rocks slightly when you rev it. Also got a steering damper, which I didn't know it had, which is a good idea. I do like a steering damper. On the front you've got the gaiters on the forks, which is a nice touch, and a small mudguard. You've also got this headlight here with a few bugs on. Nice little touch with a BMW logo in the middle. Single clock, no fairing. It's a steel tank. I'm not sure on the literage of that. I think it's about 18. What I'll do is I'll put the specs on the screen so you can see seat height and brake horsepower, literage of the tank, stuff like that, and you can get it from there. The seat, I don't know whether this is the normal seat, the high seat, or what, but it's definitely not a comfortable seat. 10 minutes and I was very uncomfortable, so that's the first downer on it. Also the knobblies are a downside. Pointless on the road, absolutely pointless. They look good, but they don't inspire you to go around corners. You got the Akrapovic, whatever you want to call them, standard cans. It's a shotgun style. I'm not sure if these come off so you can take the baffles out. If they do, and you could put end caps on like the 90, that'd be lovely. But they look good. Single side swing arm, spoked wheels. The normal one comes with 5-spoke black, I don't know if they're alloys or just normal wheels. But all in all, it's a lovely looking bike. There's not really a lot to tell you about, but it's all about looks. It doesn't have a lot of features. I mean, if I turn on the dash, that's as exciting as it gets. This bit here has clock, set up, enter, I don't know what that means, odometer, 412 miles, trip 1, trip 2, trip A, engine temperature, and clock. You've also got heated grips over here, which comes on this model, the Scrambler X, but I can't see any kind of fuel gauge or fuel warning light for that matter, which is really poor. I mean, if there's no fuel warning light, that would be a massive oversight on my part. because I don't mind not having a fuel gauge, because you can judge it on your trip meter. But if you've got no warning light, you have to run out of petrol before you can judge it, so that's not good. Anyway, let's get this bike back to the dealer. I would love to take it around the twisty road, so I've got a bit more time with it, but I'm not going to take it around the twisty road simply because it has the knobbly tyres on, and I am not liking those at all. I mean, if you rev this thing, see it shifts because of the two cylinders, the way they're flat mounted, horizontal mounted. Right, this will not be a journalistic review, this is just my opinion on the bike. I'm not associated with Vines, I'm not associated with BMW or any such like. I'm just here to ride a bike and give you my first impressions of it. And I've only done 2 miles, and I can say quite categorically my first impression is I would never buy one with knobbly tyres on. It's got the knobblies on here, it's damp, it needs a set of road tyres. It is quite cramped, which I'm shocked at. I am quite shocked at how small it seems. It seems not like a scrambler, but more like a roadster. Because it is a higher seat, I was expecting a longer stretch to the pegs, but I haven't got that. I have got long legs, and it would take some getting used to. And the other first impression in a few miles is how hard the seat is. It is not that comfortable. But we should take it onto the A3 here and open her up a little bit, see what she's like on the fly. I am a bit wary on these knobbly tyres. Now this is the air-cooled Boxer engine, so it's a little bit more agricultural than the GS 1200 I had in California. But we're sitting at 50 miles an hour now, and the wind blast is not too bad. There's no buffeting, it's quite a pure wind. The front breaks it up quite nicely. It's certainly got some pickup in it, even though I'm on knobbly tyres. I was expecting it to spin slightly then. I don't know whether this one's got traction control, I'm not sure. The only thing so far I'm struggling on is my legs are aching and knobbly tyres on a wet road. So it doesn't encourage me to sort of like throw it around. It does fall into bends. I think the cylinder heads help it. It's sort of like you counter steer it rather than pull it into bends. If you counter steer it, a bit like the GS, it drops in. It's something you've got to get used to. I don't know what gear I'm in because it's got no gear indicator. The levers are adjustable, which is a nice touch on such a basic bike. It also has no fuel gauge, which is okay when you fill it up. You can use your fuel gauge setting it by the trip meter, but when you're taking it from a dealership, you don't know how many miles till you need to fill up. I don't know whether it's got a fuel warning light on. I'm hoping it does, because if it doesn't, I might be pushing it. But yeah, in the first 10 minutes, biggest bugbear, the seat. Maybe I've been spoiled on my bike. Even though my bike's a £5,000 commuter, and this is an £11,000 cool looking bike, mine is a lot more comfortable. I do like the engine though. I really like this engine. It is nice. It does sound nice, even though it's got a standard can on it. It sounds really, really nice. It's got a nice rawness to it. but it just feels a little bit small for me. As I say, I'm 6'2", 17 stone, and my legs feel cramped. I was expecting a bit more drop to the peg. I believe you can get a high seat for this, so I wouldn't mind having another go with the road tyres and the high seat to see if it makes a difference, because it's the little things that could make a difference between me buying one or not buying one. And at the moment I'm not buying one, but it's very slow steering. I have to say the GS felt like it steered quicker. Again, I'm hoping that's simply because of the tyres and not the geometry. I don't know if I like this bike or not. I love the engine, I like the characteristics of the engine, but the ergonomics of it, I'm not feeling the ergos. I don't mind the clunky gearbox, not an issue. I don't mind the fact that it's air cooled, but I do mind the fact that it's not comfortable. And oh, those fucking tyres. Sorry, I didn't mean to swear there. And those tyres, I mean, just coming out that little bit of slip, only a tiny bit of throttle. I have never ridden a bike that I feel so, not uninspired, that's the wrong word, I feel so nervous with. I feel twitchy on it because the bike is twitchy. I'm going to have to test ride this again, but I'm going to have to test ride a version with a higher seat and road tyres, because this version is not up my alley. If you were 5'9", 10, I think this would be alright. The seat still feels weird though. I think I've just been spoiled. I've been on comfortable bikes for a few years. Yeah, this is a tricky one. It's a tricky one because I love the look of it. I think it looks spectacular, but the ride's just a little bit disappointing. I'm a bit upset, to tell you the truth, because this was high on my list of motorcycles to buy. Not so high anymore, but I would say go out and try one. If you're interested, go out and try one, because it's all about the ergonomics. If they work for you, then the bike's brilliant. Oh, I don't know whether it's me or the bike. I think it's me, because when I jumped on the GS in the States, I jumped straight on that, rode it, found everything perfect for me, and I think I was hoping more of the same with this, but it's not. It's more of a learning curve, but the bike's kind of growing on me. I kind of like it and I kind of don't. I like it for what it is. It looks good. It goes, it really does go. When it gets higher up in the rev range, it really has got some pull on it. It's quite a torquey motor. It's got a lot of character, this bike, and I think that's what BMW were aiming for. Old school vibe, old school character, but with modern engineering, and that's what this has got. It's got a charm. It's got an uncomfortable seat as well, but it's got a charm. So I'm doing virtually zero, and it is really stable. It's really easy to ride. It's got a good low centre of gravity. I'm just so gutted it's got knobbly tyres on. I can forgive the seat because that could be changed. There is a higher one, I believe, hopefully a softer one, but the tyres, oh, I can't forgive the tyres. It's ruining it for me. Right, to sum up, how do I feel about this bike? To be truthful, I'm not sure. I like the look of it. I like the sound of it. but I do not like the riding position. Tyres I will forgive, they can be changed, but until I ride one of these with the proper tyres on, or the road tyres, I will have to reserve judgment, well, my full judgment on the bike. Heated grips are nice, my hands are nice and toasty now. But yeah, I'm gonna reserve judgment. I'm gonna try and book another test ride and get one with road tyres. See if that makes a difference, and get one with the higher seat. Because I was expecting, for some reason, R1200 GS levels of comfort, and I haven't got that, and that is a little bit sad. It's a little bit disappointing. The handling I'm starting to get used to, even on the knobblies, but it is very slow steering. But it's got a kicked out front end, it's more raked than the normal R9T, so you've got to expect that. It's not that type of bike. It's not a bike you go around blasting around. It's a bike you go around chilling out, looking at yourself in shop windows. It's a cool bike. I mean, I don't make it look cool because I'm on it, but it is a cool bike. I wanted to go back and say I want to purchase this motor vehicle, but I can't do it.